We have 24 hours left before Pepe sees some extreme volatility, I believe. And by the way, guys, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing here is financial advice, but there's a massive event occurring tomorrow, folks. And this is happening as Pepe is coming down to a trend line that I've been looking at 401. We have actually come down from this recent higher level just in July all the way down about 22%, really in just the last 7 days or so, really in the last 2 weeks. Why is this volatility happening? Well, tomorrow, with 24 hours left, we've got to discuss, because it's not just Pepe coming down. Bitcoin's coming a little bit lower. Ethereum is below $3,800, potentially finding resistance at some of these key levels that we've been discussing. At the top of this range for Ethereum, at the top of this range for Bitcoin. Let's look at this news, guys, and what you need to know about Pepe over the next day, because I think there are going to be quite sharp moves from crypto overall, but surely Pepe, which is a very volatile meme coin that I just so happen to be quite bullish on. Welcome back to the Crypto Report, everybody. Do me a favor, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel for more content. Let's talk a little bit about it. So we have been in this bull market of sorts for quite a while, and Bitcoin is finding this potential resistance, and people are fearful of this potential double top. But I think it is too early to call this some kind of double top right here for Bitcoin, because we really haven't seen that altcoin season yet. And historically speaking, at least in these cycles that we've seen for cryptocurrency, there is a Bitcoin bull market followed by an Ethereum boom, which we've certainly had off these levels since April, all the way up to where we are now in July. But we haven't had these new highs being taken yet for Ethereum. And keep in mind, guys, there are institutional investors buying Ethereum like crazy now. There's the Ethereum ETF. And we're likely going to see more ETFs for altcoins down the road. Now, we don't yet have a Pepe ETF coming out, but we do have a Dogecoin ETF coming out, which hints to me that we are going to see more ETFs from memes come down the road. And Pepe is one of the more popular ones. I certainly wouldn't be surprised to see that. Maybe Shiba Inu as well. But I am optimistic that with this news coming up in the next 24 hours, that we could certainly see, if we do come lower, a bounce around the 401 level. It's very possible. The biggest threat is if Bitcoin decides to make some kind of greater move to the downside before Bitcoin dominance falls, and we kind of see altcoin season come around. That's what you're waiting for if you're waiting for Pepe to go up. So what the heck happens? Tomorrow, it is the FOMC meeting. In 21 hours, 23 minutes, I will be live streaming this conference coming up. It's a press conference from the Fed. Fed Chair Jerome Powell is going to go out and speak about inflation. He's likely going to be talking about tariffs. He might even talk about crypto. He's definitely going to be fielding questions about the Fed renovations that are occurring. And there's been a debate going on between the president and the Fed over what the cost of this project is, and they've been catching flack. The president wants the Fed to step down. This is a very consequential meeting, as they all are. But this one is happening as you're seeing Bitcoin dominance potentially start to fall down, which means hope for an altcoin season, and Bitcoin find resistance during this very pivotal meeting, which is kind of scary, kind of exciting, because we could potentially break through. And then Ethereum also finding this large resistance and struggling to find its way above $4,000, which if we do, you could see Pepe explode. So in the next 24 hours, what you need to look out for is this. If the Fed comes out tomorrow and he is dovish, meaning he is optimistic that they'll be able to do Fed rate cuts for whatever reason, the economic data, that some of it has been good, which is pretty decent to see. We've seen some trade deals get resolved. We don't see resolution with China. That might be a bearish thing because we've pushed out another 90-day pause for China. That pause is going to cause uncertainty. But if the Fed comes out for some reason and is dovish, I expect that we could have some kind of very big rally tomorrow. If the Fed comes out as neutral, kind of the same, slightly hawkish, I think that coins like Pepe could easily find a bounce here. You might see Bitcoin slip a little bit lower, maybe back down to like the 115. We could even see it come down to 110 or 100 before bouncing and continuing higher potentially. Again, maybe we get a continued move for Bitcoin dominance to the downside and altcoins float up a little bit because we're kind of due for altcoin season, at least historically. If these cycles are still the same length of time that they've been historically, altcoin season should be coming sooner rather than later. But why tomorrow is so important is because why we care about the Fed and their rate cuts is when we see the Fed cut rates, we typically get that rally for risk on assets. Even though it should be that time where altcoins are rallying, if the Fed doesn't cut rates, and if we don't even see rate cuts in 2025, we might have some kind of extended bull market, or we might end the bull market early. Now, I lean to the bullish side because of all the macro factors happening in the crypto space. And there's so many bullish things for Pepe. Like when you search Pepe today, it's a meme coin, so there's not a ton of news about it. But what you will see is tons of Pepe predictions because everybody cares about Pepe predictions. And what you will also see is a lot of copycat Pepe coins. A lot of people trying to piggyback off the success that Pepe has originally had. Why would anybody be piggybacking off of the success of Pepe? Well, because it's clearly a very successful meme in terms of the mind share when it comes to memes. If Pepe was to go back to its previous all-time high, that would be a 2.3x from here, which would be quite spectacular to an $11 billion market cap. But I want to remind you guys that Dogecoin has achieved an $88 billion market cap in the past. Crypto overall has never been more popular today. It's never been more popular ever before than it is today, and it increases in its popularity, it seems, with almost every single day that passes. So could we see a Pepe, if it has longevity like Dogecoin has, could we see it achieve the market cap level that Dogecoin has achieved in the past? Well, I believe that it is possible personally. Maybe in this bull market, maybe we got to wait for another bull market, but that is an 18x from here, and I think at some point that can happen for Pepe. That's my personal opinion. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not giving financial advice, my friends. But if you're impatient and you don't want to just count on this and you want to, try to find ways to make money in the crypto market while we're letting this volatility play out, Pepe come down, hit the 401 level, find a bounce, find potential. You can trade as well and try to earn more crypto through trading as you wait for this bigger journey if you believe that Pepe can go this high. I like to trade a lot. I trade on Blowfin. I trade on Bit10X. These are affiliates that we have for you guys in the description down below. I like to trade Pepe a lot. I like to trade Dogecoin. I like to trade the larger meme coins. I like to trade the bigger coins in general, like Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum. I like to trade those bigger ones. They seem a little bit easier to chart, and they're a little less volatile. Crypto's plenty volatile enough for me. Certainly Pepe is. I think there's a bright future for it. You see this when you see people trying to copycat them. When you search for it, you're going to see a bunch of mimics. But remember, there's so much volatility. We could see a massive short squeeze, guys, that sends us roaring and soaring for Ethereum. And we see this blow off top start to occur. If Ethereum starts to boost and we see Ethereum break through the $4,000 price level, and it could happen magically tomorrow during the Fed press briefing, you could see Pepe start to get a very strong bounce off this zone, maybe even before it, if we really see a strong enough rally for Ethereum. But do note that, we're going to have some resistance coming up again, likely at this 4016 level. I think even if we do break through it, you can always kind of expect a retest. Usually nothing goes straight up forever. So these are the kind of things that I look at. Anyway, tomorrow is a big day for Pepe. I will be live streaming the FOMC meeting for you guys. Look out for the volatility. Look out for that level. I think, in my opinion, it would make sense to see it go down to 401. Do you guys agree? Do you guys disagree? Do you think it can even hold that level? I want to hear from you guys in the comments down below. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Smash a like, subscribe to the channel, DCA. Hold on, my friends. 2 videos here if you want to check them out. Until next time, peace.